Welcome to Match Fishing Masterclass. I brought you here today to film a live match. It's round one of the Bonehill Mill Silverfish League. So, as you've probably seen from the pre-footage at the start of the video, I have been rushing around because you only get around an hour to set up here. However, I'm nearly there, so I'll just give you a quick run through of how the league's working and where I've drew. So the league itself, it's a silverfish only league. There's no F1s in this venue, or there's a couple, but they don't count anyway. Carp don't count, obviously. And there's 24 on the league, and it's 3 sections. There's 2 on this big lake, and then there's 1 on the smaller lake. I've drew on peg 2, which is, to be fair, I'm happy with it, because last year I caught 27 pound of roach off it, and I've caught 66 pound of skimmers off it. However, this year it's been fishing a bit iffy. I think 5 pounds been the best weight off it, but today's a new day, so we'll see. So my plan of attack, what I'm going to do, I was going to set up 2 feeder rods, however someone's forgot theirs, so I've kindly lent them a feeder rod. So I've just got 1 feeder rod, and that's clipped up at 35 metres, and then I've got 3 rigs set up. So first off is the long line at 14.5 metres. I'm planning to fish pellets here. Don't know if I'll catch them, but I spoke to one of my good friends, Matt Derry, yesterday, and he won the match at Meadowlands, and he just fished pellets. So he's given me an insight into what he'd done, and if they work there's a good chance they're going to work here, with the water temperatures being very similar. And then I've just set up 2 slimmer floats to fish at around 10 metres with casters. I've put a bit of worms there as well, so that I've got a carb cane from Dotton Down and an original Preston Chianti. The carb cane's a 0.4, and it's got a slightly thicker tip than the original Chianti, and the Chianti's are 4x12s, and obviously, as I just said, it's got a bit of a thinner tip. The difference between them 2 rigs, we are due a bit of wind later on, so I might need to fish the 0.4. However, if the fishing's tricky, which there's a good chance it's going to be, then the smaller Chianti might winkle out a few more bites. Baits for today, just got a pint of live red maggots, just under a pint of pinkies. I've got a few red worms, which I think might catch us some skimmers on the feeder. And then I've actually brought 3 pints of casters, but I've only got a pint on my tray. Don't think we'll be feeding much. And then I'm currently soaking some micros. And then I've just got in this bag a few expanders. Ground bait for today, I've just mixed up silverfish, the Dynamite Swim Stim silverfish mixed with 20% milled expander. So normally, as the people watching my videos will see, my favourite ground bait for this time of year is F1 sweet cool water. However, when I went to get my bait yesterday, the shop never had any, so my next favourite mix is that silverfish mix. So I've just gone with that, and I'm sure that's going to catch us some fish today. So all I'm going to do now, I'm just going to get some ground bait out, get it into a bowl, and then we're pretty much good to go. So at Bonehill, you've got to leave your net out the water until at least 10 minutes before the start. The reason for this is because a couple of years ago there was a disease called KHV going around the fisheries in the country. And what this does, leaving your net out until at least 10 minutes before, it kills all the bacteria. So the UV rays off the sun, even though there's not any sun out today, there's still UV rays, and the UV rays kill the bacteria on the net. So it's all for the fishery, for the fish welfare, really. Just going to get a good bit of ground bait in that bowl on the feeder. So the way I'm going to feed my pole lines is I'm not going to put much ground bait in on the pole lines. I'm just going to put a nugget of micros in on the long pole with a bit of ground bait, but not much. And then on the shorter line, I'm going to chop a few worms. That reminds me, I need to get some worms out. Just going to chop a few worms, put some casters in with it, and that'll go onto the shorter line at about 10 metres. Because of my ground bait fish meal today, there isn't that many pegs really that on this league that you're fishing for roach on. So I didn't bring any non-fish meal ground bait, and I don't really want to be fishing for roach with fish meal ground bait. Although they will come over it, I just don't think it's the best. I think it's more a confidence thing, to be honest. I'm just going to chop a few worms, and I will be putting these through the feeder as well. What's worked well for me, because there've been some opens running up to this league, and what's worked well for me is putting worms through the feeder, and not much else. I've not brought any dead maggots. What I've found later on in the day, if you do put dead maggots in, it really brings the carp in over the ground bait. I personally think it's the dead maggots, but it might not be, I'm not sure. All I'm going to do is put that bit of worm into my cup. Just put a few casters in there, give it a mix round. And just leave that in my cup. That way, that's ready to feed straight away. As soon as they call the all in, I can go out, feed that. And then go on start on the feeder. At Bonehill Mill, the rules are you can feed your pole lines whilst you're fishing a rod. So could chuck the rod out and then feed my pole lines, which I might do. Yeah, I've got about 7 minutes before the start. I might just have a little think about what I'm going to do. I'm just going to chop some worms up now to go through the feeder. As you'll see, I'm just using my scissors instead of what I have got. I've got a Garbolino worm cutter, and if I feel like I'm going to be chopping loads of worms up, which I do in the spring, when the water starts warming up from the winter into the spring, worms can really score well, and I'll use that worm cutter. However, you get through an awful lot of worms doing it because you don't realise just how many you're cutting. But when it's really cold like it is today, I just like to use my scissors because I can really tell how many worms I'm actually cutting then. Not so much ration my worms, but I want to know exactly how many I chopped up. Got 2 little feeders out for the feeder line. I'll start on the Guru Exchange 30 gram 2-hole, and then once I've had a few casts on that, I'll swap down then to a Feederland 3-hole mini cage, both in 30 gram. Just get a hook length on my feeder rod, then I'm good to go. Oh. That's the all-in just been called. As always, I'm not ready. I don't think there'll be any rush anyway. I don't think we're going to have a bite for the first hour. That's me just trying to moan a bite. Just going to start on 2 little red worms. Actually, I'll start on a red worm and a pinky. Bit of chopped worm in the feeder. The light. All I'm going to do for the first 40 minutes or so is just have 6-minute casts. Let's get this pole line fed. Good thing about feeding worms and casters is you can restart a new line over the top of it if you want, so you can fish pretty much anything over the top. Just going to feed like a golf ball size of micro pellets. I'm going to squeeze them together so when they can get down to the bottom in one pile. That way what I can do is fish off the pellets, so I can come like a metre to either side if the fish can't get a bite right over the pellet. What can happen is the fish can be sitting just off it, so I can fish like round the pellets. Yeah, fish round the pellets, and sometimes that can pick off them and big fish. And that's about it. I'm going to have, like I said, 6-minute casts. 6-minute casts on this feeder. And I'll join you once I've caught my first fish. So we're 40 minutes in. I'll just give you a little update on what's happening. So I've not had a bite. However, the bloke to my right has had one skimmer. The bloke, one to my left, has had a skimmer. But originally I was planning on fishing at 35 metres. I'm a bit hemmed in here where I am because there's like the corners to my left and then there's a bloke on what we call the dam wall, and when he chucks his feeder it comes across the front of me at about 30 metres. So when I cast in at first, on the first chuck, I had to stop it short to stop it actually going over his line. So I'm currently fishing at around 30 metres. But what I've done, I've just moved it to the right slightly. I've chucked to the right, hoping that to give myself a bit of room, but the bloke on the dam wall has our feeders was literally probably 4 or 5 metres apart. So I've had 2 chucks there, and then I've chucked 10 metres to the left, so directly out in front of me. So I've now got 2 feeder lines. I'm currently on my second cast on the second feeder line, and I've not had a bite. However, I'm confident with what I'm doing because I've always caught here doing it. So now that's right. It's just a case of whether there's fish in front of me. But if he's had one skimmer, then I know there's definitely some fish out there. What's quite interesting is just before I cast out on this chuck, I saw a skimmer roll at about 45 metres in front of me, and I told the bloke on the dam wall, I said, there's a fish just rolled there, and he asked me where. I told him, and then next chuck he's had a skimmer, so that's quite interesting. I didn't actually see where he chucked on that chuck, wasn't watching, but yeah, I'm still quite confident. So I'm looking down the bank now, there's a bloke 5 pegs up. He's got a fish on. The way he's winding it in, looks to be a small fish, but we'll see. Getting cold now, I might have to run to the car and get a coat. Just put in a bit of chopped worm for the feeder. I thought that was a little indication there. Just putting a bit of chopped worm for the feeder and a few micros, literally 5 or 6 micros. can't believe it. Just over 3 hours in. Oh my god, and the tip has just gone round. No word of a lie, I was going to give it 2 more minutes and then take 2 metres off the clip and chuck it past. Just need to be bloody careful with this. One fish is winning my section at the moment. One fish. So this fish is gonna be mega important. Play it like my life depends on it. The shop leader just come through the rings now. Come on, come on, come on. Yes, go on. It's a proper one as well. Go on! I've got one! Oh, it's a proper one as well. Thank God for that. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh God, that's took the pressure off a bit. Still 2 hours left though, a lot can happen. But we've had a fish. After 3 hours. I had to wait 3 hours for a bloody bite. That is unreal. They're even clapping me on the other lake now. Oh, I think I was the only person in my section to not have, no, actually on the lake, to not have a fish. And luckily, I've had one, and it's a proper one as well. Again, apologies for the sniffing, folks, but I'm absolutely freezing. That fish has warmed me up a bit there. That come on the right hand line. Hopefully, like I said earlier, they do come in twos. You normally get one, and then you can get one on the next chuck. So let's pray that this goes round. That went round after like 4.5 minutes then. So it just shows if they are there, you don't have to wait that long for them. I just think it was a case of they literally weren't there. Hopefully we get a little visit. And then them £2 what I've just had. But if I was a betting man, I would now say that I'm winning the section, which is unreal. Can't believe it. It just shows in these matches I can literally go from 0 to hero in a matter of 4 minutes. I've seen the fish that the other guys have caught, and there's probably only one fish that's close to the weight of the one I've just had. Yeah, proper one, yeah. One. Yeah, no liners, no plucks, no damaged bait, just one. Mad. There we have it. Fish number 2 on the hook. Again, I need to play it like my life depends on it. Because if I get this in, I will definitely be winning the section. The bloke on my left just looked at me and started shaking his head. In disbelief. Feels like another decent fish. Yeah, nice proper one. Get in that net. Go on, me baby. Go on. Another proper fish. Well, a bit smaller. A bit over a pound, that one. £1.5 maybe. It's definitely me winning this section now. Come on. That come to maggots, that one. Again, that was in 6 minutes. So I've had one on 4.5 minutes and one on 6 minutes. Don't get one on this chuck, I'll have another 5-minute chuck on the left hand line just to try and let some fish come over that right hand line. But we seem to be making something happen now, or something's just happening, should I say. Not really changed much. As I said earlier, I didn't want to force anything in the peg and blow the peg when just one fish was winning my section. If someone had like 5 or 6 I would have had to force something. I'm glad I never done anything stupid. Just keeping the odd cast going onto that short line. All I've done is put a cad pot on one of my top kits, and every 45 minutes I've just been filling the cad pot with micras and just putting that on the long line just to make sure that there's a bit of bite on it. If I can manage another couple of skimmers off this feeder line, I doubt I'll even go on the pole. Might have one look on it a bit later on, but as long as I'm winning the section, I don't need to do anything or change anything. Just need to keep doing what I'm doing and hopefully stay in front. But I'm pretty happy now. So yeah, I'm gonna plug along, and again, hopefully next time you see me, I'll be playing a big bream or something, or a skimmer. I'll take a skimmer. Okay, it's coming up to 2:15. And I've got 3 skimmers. So what I'm going to do now, because there's only an hour left, or just coming up to an hour, I'm just going to put a few micras on that long line, because I wouldn't mind. I fancy it for a couple of bites, to be honest, later on. So what I'll do, feed some casters. Go. I've not seen anyone catch on the pole on this lake, apart from the end peg up there, peg 9. So I've seen him have at least 6 skimmers on the feeder and 1 on the pole, so there's clearly a lot of fish up there. It's quite a surprise really, because like I said earlier, the further you go up there, the shallower it is. But he has been good, to be honest, in the run up to this league. Guy on peg 40's having a go on the pole now. Be interesting if he catches on it. This is the first time he's had a go on it, so Oh, that's a fish on that. Just looking at my phone then, I had a text going through. Oh, feels like a nice fish as well. It's amazing, all my fish have come on that right hand line. And that had a single indication on that left hand one. Shock leader's just come through the eye. Oh, another nice fish. Nice. Yes, get in that net. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Fish. That fish come to a worm and a maggot. I think a few just rocked. I honestly think no fish was there earlier on. Lake's gone flat calm now. Might be alright as long as that sun stays away. That's 4 skimmers for about £7, I reckon. The league's run over 5 matches, and I think at the end of the league you're gonna want £50 to either win it or frame. So you're gonna need to catch either £10 every round, which I think is going to be hard to do, or you're going to need to catch a big weight on one of the later rounds and then just catch what you can on these earlier rounds. So if you catch £3 for the first 3 rounds, you're going to need to catch 2 £20 weights, I think, which is more than doable. We've got 20 minutes left now. We've still got just them 4 skimmers, but by my maths, which isn't very good, I'll be winning the section. So I just need to be sensible, really. What I have done, so we've only got 20 minutes left. I've took off 1.5 meters off the clip, so I unclipped. I just pulled out 1.5 meters off the spool, and I've gone past my bait. And I'll have 2 10-minute chucks, and then that'll take me up to the end of the match. Did have a look on that left-hand feeder line, but didn't have any indications. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have a little visit now at the end of the match. And if I don't see you when I've got a fish on next, I'll see you at the end. Now got 13 minutes left of the match, and the tip's just swung round. As soon as that light drops, it's amazing. Don't have a bite for 3 hours, staring a blank in the face. And your match can just change. It's mad. Oh God, I missed him. God, he wanted it. Another nice fish, about a pound and a half. Hopefully we'll drop back in now and get another one. That was 1.5 meters past where I've been fishing all day. It just proves that the fish do just hang off the back. And then every now and again they'll come over the bait, get their heads down, and then back off again. Put to some 5 now. I imagine they're going to go 8 or 9 pound, I imagine. So it's not far off my £10 target. I need to set myself a target £10 every round. Catch less than £10, obviously on the next round after that I need to try and make up the difference. Got 10 minutes left now. This will be the last. If it doesn't go round, this will be the last chuck. So that's it then. The all out's just been called. And I think I've won the section. But we will see. I thought I've won the section before and someone's pulled a net full of fish out. That's always the way. But no, we'll get weighed in now. And then I'll see you at the end if we've still got the light. That is. Yeah, 5. I just heard him over there say he's had 8.
Who?
Someone over there. Is
it ash?
Is he on about carp? No, it's not ash. He might be on about carp.
I think so.
Not sure who it is. Yeah. Yeah, proper uns, mate. I've had a couple on maggots and a couple on worms. £8.11. Yeah.
Total.
No, mate, you're alright. Just chuck them back. Nice one. Well, that's it. The match has ended. I've had £8.11 for second in the section. As I said, someone over there on the opposite bank had snuck a few in, and he's had £10 to win the section. But I'm happy with that. It's weight overall, so we're still in the hunt. Cheers for watching. See you later.